Let's roll. Okay, so Chris, we're pretty blessed today to have an amazing person today, an amazing entrepreneur, Nicole Tanner. Nicole is a great entrepreneur and building an amazing company, different from many companies. To jump in this industry you're in, Nicole, is amazing. To think that somebody could start in your industry and actually build something. Looking at the monster competition that's there in your space, it's pretty cool that you're doing. So welcome, Nicole Tanner from Swig Drinks. Tell us about yourself, kiddo.
Yes, thanks for having me. This is a pleasure. So my name is Nicole Tanner. I am a mom of 5 amazing kids. They're all adults now. They're from the ages of 30 to 19. And I have 4 cutest of all grandkids with another one on the way. So I'm a grandma, and the grandma life is the best life. So yeah, I am a very blessed woman, but back in the day when my kids were all younger, I was searching for a drink place that could provide an amazing drink in a fast moving line, because my time was so important, because I was all over the place running kids to soccer practice and school, things and things for me and whatever. And my time was super important. And then also I felt like a number in those drive-through lines. And I just wanted to go get my drink fix. For me, it's a Diet Coke with lime. And I've added a few things to my drink now, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I just was a busy mom of 5 kids from the ages of 5 to 15 at that time. So just super busy. And I needed to get my drink fix. And I felt like there was an experience that was lacking out there in the consumer field. And so in the customers. And so I went, looking and thinking, what if we just did drive-through drinks? So a lot of times I would go to Sonic and to go get my Diet Coke with lime, because they have the foam cups, and then they had the pebble ice, because it's all about the pebble ice. Your drink is the best because of that pebble ice that's in there. The ice makes it. And
wait, what is that? The what?
The pebble ice, or you can call it like nugget ice, or like just the good crushed ice in your drink, in a fountain drink. And it just makes the drink so much better, your fountain drink, whatever it is, your ice water. It'll make any drink better, because it melts really well with your drink. So it doesn't water it down. It just gives it a really good. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you haven't had a drink with pebble ice, dang, we gotta get you to a Swig is what we gotta do.
No, that's awesome. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. They have pebble ice makers now. You can put in your homes. I have one in my home now. So I have pebble ice in my home. So it's just that little nugget ice. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I loved that experience. I loved my Diet Coke with my foam cup, because it kept my drink cold longer, and then the pebble ice. But a lot of times at Sonic, and I love Sonic, but a lot of times the wait would be long, because people were ordering food. And sometimes like my cup would even smell like onions or be greasy, because they're prepping food and cooking food. And a lot of times, again, like I said, I felt like I didn't matter to them, even though I was coming on a very regular basis, almost daily. And so I thought, I know there are other people out there like me that want to be made to feel known and feel special, that we're choosing to come buy our beverages or whatever it is from that establishment. And I think I could do it better. I think I could provide that amazing customer service in a faster line with a superior product. So honestly, that's how it started. Watched how many people walked into a local gas station and walked out with just fountain drinks in 1 hour's time. And it was hundreds. So I was like, okay, if they could stay in their car, in their air-conditioned car with their, kids buckled in, and not have to get them out, and then go through that drive-through line, get their drink, feel special, and then on with their day in a good amount of time. Like, that would be amazing, because that's what I would have appreciated.
Yeah.
So honestly, that's how it started, is like, okay, I don't see this out there. It's a need. I want to feel it. So that's where it all came from. Busy mom, needed her drink fix. There we go.
Wow. Okay, so then how'd you get started? I mean, the idea is an amazing idea, but the start, I'm sure a lot of people said, "Are you, Nicole, you better go maybe go get checked out, because this idea sounds like a kind of crazy idea. I don't think there's a business here."
Yeah, how do you make money off of selling just fountain drinks? Is what we heard all the time. How are you going to do that? Like, oh goodness, let's go support, the Tanners, because how are they going to make it? They have 5 kids. No, I found this old beat up building in downtown St. George. It had literally been a skate park with ramps up the side of it at one point. It had been a U-Haul trailer place. It was beat up, but it was perfect for what we needed because we don't need a lot of space. We don't have burgers. We don't have fryers. We just have our 3 soda machines. We have our big ice machine and some freezers, refrigerators.
Wait a minute. At this point, you already came up with what you needed. You knew what you needed to get this going. How'd you know that?
Okay, so Diet Coke, obviously, I needed a Coke machine. So you fill it up with their Coke products. So Sprite, Coke, all of that. Now there's Mountain Dew and Pepsi drinkers out there, right? So I knew I needed to provide something for them. So then you bring in your other machine that has your Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Diet Dew, all of that. So Coke and Pepsi has a good lineup, and they'll tell you their top 10 that they sell. So for me, it was like, talk to the Coke and Pepsi reps in the area, tell them the idea, and then they bring in the machines. You just buy the product. So they supply the machines, they service the machines. You just buy the bibs, like the soda bibs, the syrup bibs.
Yep.
And that's how that works with them.
How many square feet is this building?
800 square feet.
800 square feet.
Yes, 800 square feet. But what it had, though, is a huge parking lot. So I could envision cars pulling around, wrapping around that building. And a lot of times in entrepreneurs' dreams, you see it, right? You see where you want it, what you want it to be. And I could see it. I was like, yes, those are going to be women like me, men like me. They're busy running around, and they're going to be able to come in and get their drink fixed, and then are gone. And that's
in this location, the demographics worked for it, in your opinion? You knew that there's
it was
traffic.
right by the college. It was right by the college. And so we could pull in for team members, for employees, we could pull a lot of college kids in, but they're also thirsty. They drink their energy drinks, they drink their soda. But honestly, it wasn't so much of like, let's position it by the college. It was like, let's position it in a good part of town, but it was more about, can we afford this rent? Because we're bootstrapping it, right? It's like, hey, let's see if this will work. I didn't want to put a lot of money into it because who knew if it was even going to work? It was such a long shot because you're selling drinks. That's it. Drinks and cookies. And so we have to make sure.
Okay, wait, how many of your family and friends, what percentage believe for sure, Nicole, this is it, this is going to work? And how many said, Nicole,
our own accountant, he was like, he didn't tell me this then, but 6 months later, after we were doing well, he was like, I gave you guys 6 months. I didn't think you were going to make it. And I'm like, dang, you're our accountant. Like, where's the faith in that? Yeah, no, everybody, I think this is what everybody did. And this is what I heard for like a year. They were like, what is, they drive past and they go, what is that crazy thing? Like drinks. And then they'd go like, dang, I wish I would have thought of that, because they'd see the lines coming around. But at first, their first initial thought is, oh, I don't know about that. Like, how is that going to work? And then they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. That we should have done that. So at first, there's a lot of people like, oh man, like my own mom was like, Nicole, I don't know about this. It seems risky, but yeah, I just really believed in it. I knew I would love it as a consumer, as a customer, and it just felt so right. So to come up with the name Swig, we looked up in the thesaurus, the word drink, and there's like 50 or more, words for the name drink. But the minute that I came to Swig, it was like, stop. That's it. It just felt so right. Can I have a swig of your drink? Can I have a swig of that? So people would know that it's like something drink. And
absolutely.
It just was perfect. Yeah. So
perfect name. I mean, it kind of also insinuates kind of fast, right? I need to
right.
just,
Yeah.
Perfect name. Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. So got the name, got the building, we have our concept. I heard of this amazing bakery here in St. George that sold great cookies. And I am a baker by heart. I don't bake as much as I used to, but I'm like, yes, a cookie that tastes home baked and is like fresh and good. I went to the baker and I said, we're starting this idea, this new thing. Would you want to be a part of it? And we'd sell your cookies. And he was like, oh, I think he thought we were crazy too. But he's like, I've never done this before, outsourced, but let's try it. So I was the cookie deliverer as well. And when we started, I'd drive 20 minutes to get the cookies, drive them back in my car. My car smelled like a sugar cookie. So It's a good air freshener.
Okay. Are you still partnering with the same cookie company?
No, we outgrew them way too fast. But 2 years after that, their bakery flooded. It happens a lot down here in St. George. We're in the desert. They completely flooded, didn't know when they were going to open. So we had, or if they would open again. So we had to pivot really fast, and we found our own baker and opened our own bakery. We became a bakery 2 years in.
How long was that? About 8 years ago?
That was 2012 when we opened our own bakery. So yeah, about 10, 11 years ago. But now we've outgrown that. We outgrew that in a couple years. And we now have a large commercial bakery that bakes all of our cookies. We sell them by the millions.
Say it again. Wait, say it one more time.
Millions of cookies.
Millions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of cookies are there? Do you like, are there a lot of different types, or is this certain, like 5 different types, or what?
So we started off with about 5 different types. We're known for our classic pink sugar cookie. It's a chilled cookie, underbaked, really good. And then we also had at the time a chocolate chip cookie, an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, a peanut butter cookie, and a coconut almond cookie. We have since just refined. We've been refining all these years of like, what our customers love. We will always bring in things that they love. And if they're not selling, we'll take them out and bring in something else. I don't have a business without my customers. So I always listen to them. And I always want to make sure that anything we bring in is going to be able to be prepared quickly, so that time, the 3 things I built it on, the superior product, fast moving line, and making people feel special. So if it doesn't fit in those 3 things, we won't bring in a product.
Wait. Okay. Do that one more time. The 3 things.
Okay. Superior product, fast moving line, and amazing customer service. So making people feel special in our line. And if it doesn't fit with those core things, we don't bring it in. But slow our line. If we have to prep it, takes longer than a minute to prep, it doesn't make the menu.
I love it. Okay, so how many cookies though? How many you have now? You said 5. You can.
So now So now we've simplified it as we've started spreading out across the nation. We're trying to like really simplify so it's an easier thing to roll out. So we have 2 base cookies. It's our classic pink sugar that we've had forever. And now we have mini chocolate chip cookies that come in a cup. And so that fits perfect. You have your drink in your cup holder. Your second cup holder carries your cup of cookies. So you're just constantly popping cookies and drinking your drink.
Yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense. And like you're saying, at least 2 cup holders. Might as well have one for the cookies.
Yeah. I'm like,
Absolutely.
why didn't we do this years ago? But we started that about 2 years ago, and it's been a hit. Our customers love it. So those are our 2 base. We always have those. And now we do limited time cookies. So LTOs. Every month we come out with a new cookie. We are launching
limited
tomorrow.
time.
Yeah. Tomorrow we are launching our oatmeal whoopie pie. So think Little Debbie's back in the day. A Little Debbie, the cookie cream pies. So it's
okay. So if your customers tell you that this limited time offer, this limited time cookie is crazy good, I want more, what do? I mean, if enough of them tell you, get it back, do you get it back?
Yeah, we get it back. We bring it back. We would do that very intentionally, methodically, though, because what I never want our menu to be is super busy. Because if we want our customers to get in and get out, I can't have a million things that I'm throwing at you on that menu. It needs to be simple.
Okay, so Nicole, it's awesome. All the things you're saying are so true for solid businesses, solid business plans, and great entrepreneurs to stay focused. We just we hear often stay in your zone, stay focused, right? Jimmy John's story is a little similar to yours. You should listen to his. He was my second podcast episode, and his story is amazing. But he made his money on his brand of Freaky Fast. Initially was in his stores. He did what you did. He was a college campus, and he knew it had to be freaky fast to get his sandwiches out fast enough so customers, the students, would want to come to him, knowing they don't have a lot of time, right? And so Freaky Fast became his brand, and then eventually started delivering those sandwiches. And he did it in a certain amount of time within a radius of the stores, and that was advertised that way, of course, across the nation. And Jimmy John grew to be a multi-billion-dollar business. He sold the last part of it recently, but still, that brand is still there, right? We know, that I know that when I'm anywhere in the country that I can call Jimmy John's and get a sandwich delivered fast if there's one within, 2 miles away. And you're doing the same, very similar. People know when they drive up, not only are you going to get great customer service, but boy, you're going to get served fast, and you're going to get, amazing cookies, and you're going to, you can rely on these cookies. And once in a while, you're going to get a surprise, right? A limited time offer, limited time cookie, right? So this is cool.
Yeah.
I love
It is so cool. And who doesn't love Jimmy John's? Like, honestly, at every one of our grand openings, we bring in Jimmy John's because all of our team members love it. I've had many a Jimmy John's while I'm starving at work working. I'm like, what can I get here fast? And it'll be delivered to me, Jimmy John's. So he's brilliant. I love his motto. I love what he does. So I will watch that episode.
So, he's a friend of mine. I got to know, his dad was one of my best friends before he passed a few years ago. He's a great entrepreneur himself. And so Jimmy, I got to be good friends with as well. Jimmy's a good guy and really
Nice.
An innovator in the sandwich world where there's so many, right? To be able to beat Subway and Quiznos and all these other ones, he just differentiated very strong with consistent, high quality, products, but always freaky fast, right? I mean, it worked. And so
I'm going to say this right now. We are the Jimmy John's of drinks right there.
There you go. I like
Consistent, fast, you make people feel special. There you go. Boom.
Yeah,
love it.
And he always did a good job too with his team and his stores. Their goal was to do the same thing, make their customers feel good, and he always had a lot of funny stuff on the walls. So anyway, yeah, great analogy. Okay, so you currently have like 40 stores, is that right?
We have 60.
60 stores.
I got on there wrong.
I'm looking at old news.
You are looking at old news, dang it. We're growing too fast. You can't keep up. We have 60 locations. Isn't that crazy?
Awesome.
All of it corporate except for 2 franchises we just opened up. So we're starting the franchising stores.
So you're just starting the franchise concept.
Mhm.
Okay. If you ever want to meet people in that world, just let me know. I've got some really good friends. I've got one of my friends, like my little sister, and she only did one of her own stores, and then she's got like hundreds now across the country, maybe 500 or 600 across the country. But hers are in-home senior care. It's called Bright Star. So Shelly's son is the fastest growing woman franchisor in the world, and she's like my little sister, and she's an amazing person. So if you ever want to meet her, I'll plug you two together, and your personality will match her really well. She's just as passionate as you, and you'll have a lot of fun with her because she's
awesome.
amazing entrepreneur, amazing person, amazing human, which is important to me, right? So, okay, so 60 stores, Nicole. How many teammates do you have now?
We have about 1,200 team members.
1,200. Okay, so is it about 20 per store, or is it probably less than that? And then you have a back office.
It depends on the volume. So some stores have about 25, some have about 12, just depending on the volume of the store. Some stores are just not as busy, and they can't afford 25 team members. So
yeah, it doesn't work.
Doesn't
Okay,
work.
so-
They don't. So
Yeah. So it's all about the size of the market, right? Yeah, but they can go from 10 or 12 to 20.
So think of our footprint of our locations. We don't need a lot of space. So some of them, the smallest are between 750, 800 square feet. We do have some that go up to about 1,300, 1,500 square feet. We don't need that amount of space, but it's just how the end cap drew out, or it's just the whatever there was available for us. So you can't fit a lot of people in an 800 square foot, space. So you don't want 10 people in there. It's not going, you're going to be in each other's way. You're not going to be productive. So we have found, go ahead.
Is it hard sometimes to find a drive-through with these different smaller sizes like that?
Totally. But what we did about 2020, we came up with it about 2019 as our container models. And so we started with just shipping containers. And we now just have got a design built that looks like a shipping container, but is a bit bigger, taller. But so we plop them in the corner of these parking lots. So we talk to local grocers. I wish we were in Target. Hopefully that's coming soon. But think of a local grocery store. We're in like some Wincos. So that customer base coming into there is our customer base. So we're helping them. Hopefully they're helping us, and we plop into a corner of their parking lot, and then we can wrap the cars around that way, around in their parking lot. So it's a win-win. It helps us with real estate. it helps us to open up more locations. So I would say we probably have 30% of our locations now are that model right there, 25 to 30%. So as we franchise, we're like, okay, franchisees are new partners. Here's another model that you can use to find the real estate that you need to open up locations. And it really has been.
Then Nicole, and I see, so I do a lot of work for large retailers across the country. And so we pave those parking lots, right? So we pave big parking lots for Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, and many others, right? And so what I'm seeing is less use of those big lots. I mean, so especially in strip mall situations where, the retail market is lower than it was. Big areas of these malls and parking lots are empty, right? So something like you're talking about drives traffic into them, and it's another cash flow,
It brings energy to their parking lot that maybe is missing or has gone away somewhat. It really, we want to be a good partner for that, big box company.
And so with these containers, you're able to build like a drive-through type of atmosphere. So you're able to build that drive-through window in there and all that.
Yeah, I wish I had one to show you, but just look at our website. You'll find it really quick. You'll see a bunch of small container stores on there. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're opening one in Spring, Houston, Texas in 2 weeks, and it is a container type build. It'll look just
okay. So what markets are you in currently then, Nicole? What states or markets?
Yeah, great question. So obviously Utah, we have about 40 in Utah, and then we are in Arizona. We have 6 in the Phoenix area. We're in Oklahoma. We have about 6 in the Oklahoma City area, and then Dallas, Texas. We have 7 in Dallas, Texas, with a lot more to come. Dallas or Texas in general is going to be like
Dallas. You have how many?
7 in Dallas.
I love Dallas. It's my fastest growing market.
It really is. It's amazing. And it fits for us. Like it's hot down there. They like their big drinks. It's that good Southern hospitality. It's amazing. We brought in sweet tea just for the South. So we have sweet tea for Oklahoma, Texas. And then one in Houston with a lot more to come in Houston.
Okay. So, and right now, is it mostly Coke products?
Coke and Pepsi. Oh yeah. We've had Coke and Pepsi from the start. Yeah. Coke and Pepsi from the start.
Now, what if, I love like high quality sweet tea or lemonade, right? What if you have your own product and will they allow you to bring that in or no? If you have like a really high quality iced tea or like lemonade or something like that, or is it something
Who's they? Who do you mean by they?
Well, those people that like the Pepsis and the Cokes, so the Pepsi or Coke products, do they have an issue if you do something on your own?
Yeah, no, they will only let you bring on what they sell. So, but we have brought in our own sweet tea that sits on a counter with its own dispensing thing. So we developed our own sweet tea. It's not on the fountainheads. It's on its own little thing. We developed our own energy drink because again, we're running into thing where people are like, hey, what is that Swig concept? And what are they doing? And look at their lines. And I want to do that. And so people started copying us about 2013, about 3 years in, and they were copying us to a T, which again is flattery. Like it's a compliment. They saw something good and they wanted to do it and it helps, build the market. But we then had to make ourselves more that it is our brand and they can't copy us. So we developed our own Reviver or energy drink called Reviver. It took us a year to build it out. It tastes a little bit like a Red Bull and it's on tap. So it is on the Pepsi Coke machines, and they did let us bring those on to sell it that way on their Coke.
Energy drink, it's called Reviver?
Reviver, yes, Reviver. Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
It makes up about 20% of our sales. It's really good.
Really? Holy cow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
You can blend it. You can have an ice with that pebble ice. We can create any concoction you want. We want to make it yours.
Is it possible that you come up with something like this and like Pepsi or Coke come to you and say, all right, we want to buy this from you, or we want to put this in, we just want to add this to our products and sell along with us with a bump to them? Or I mean, is there something like that in the future maybe?
That would be amazing if it looked right for both of us. And I would love that. Here would be amazing. You know how Coke comes out with different flavored drinks in their cans or their bottles, like, raspberry or whatever. So we have a thing called a Dirty Dr. Pepper, and it's coconut in our Dr. Pepper. And we've had it from day one. And we just called it coconut Dr. Pepper at first, but within about a month, some of our customers are like, hey, do you know that we call that dirty? And I'm like, oh, that is so cool. We're going to call it dirty. So, yeah. So we have dirty drinks. We're the home of the dirty soda, if you hadn't heard of that. So we are the home of the dirty soda. And so we trademarked it, the term dirty, in terms of use with syrups and creamers with a fountain drink. We trademarked it with Utah and then nationally. So we protected it. And so we always want to be protecting our property to where, other people, they can copy us, but we want to have some things that are ours. So flash forward. So that was about 2015 when we got that trademark. Flash forward to 2021. Olivia Rodrigo, pop star, if you know her, she comes to Swig. She loves Swig. She's been in Utah. She filmed High School Musical here. She comes through Swig. She's the loyal customer. Takes a picture with some of our team members. They're, fangirling. She posted on her social media. Her social media followers are like, what's a dirty soda? Because she put dirty soda at Swig. It went viral. Everybody started trying to make drinks on TikTok, dirty drinks on TikTok. May 21, I get a phone call from the Today Show, and they are like, we hear you're the home of the dirty soda, and could you do a quick interview with us? Like 2 days later, we were on the Today Show. Not me personally, I would have loved it, but Swig was, and Al Roker is drinking a dirty soda on the Today Show.
That's funny.
We protected that, and then 7 years later, it went viral. So,
how cool is that?
Into Swig to see where dirty drinks are, because a lot of the competitors had copied us and saying their drinks were dirty, and we sent out a cease and desist after. Said, hey, guess what? That's our term. Please don't use it. And they took it off. But if we hadn't protected that dirty word, which seems kind of silly, like it's a term, but it just felt so right, like it was our term, and our customers latched onto it so well. They were like, that's ours. And so,
you can't, you really don't want to patent anything if you're not willing to protect it. If you're not willing to go after and protect it, otherwise you don't waste your money. So that's good.
Money,
It's good you did that. Okay, so proprietary products. You got the cookie, you got the sweet tea, you got the energy drink, Revigor, you've got the dirty Reviver. Then you got the dirty Dr. Pepper. Okay. Any other proprietary stuff?
We have our own proprietary flavor shots that we are customizing. We have about 8 to 10 of them now, so that they are ours and no one else can get them. And we're building out that so that any flavor shot, any puree shot, any creamer, hopefully will eventually just be Swig. That's the secret sauce, is that they're not going to know how to quite recreate that secret sauce, because it'll be a secret. It'll be Swig's secret.
So there's a coffee shop I go to that has a great name that I'll share with you offline, because I think they're not franchised or anything, but I buy their shirts and whatever, because it's such a cool name. But I think it could go with a drink for sure. And it just people want to wear it, they want to say that's what they have, just like your dirty Dr. Pepper. It's just kind of funny. It's the conversation piece, right? When you look at the future, so is your goal then to franchise in the future more than own be the operator of the stores too?
We're going to do both, because we want to build that consistent bench of solid foundation of, this is Swig, this is who we are. We love our customers, we love our drinks, we love our fast lines. So we are going to do both. We are going to grow we're going to focus on the franchising, but we're still going to grow corporately. So for example, this year, we will probably open about 25 to 30 franchise locations and about 15 to 20 corporate locations. So probably about 60-40, 60 corporate or 60 franchise, 40 corporate, 40%.
That's awesome. And Now, have you done this all bootstrapping, or are you bootstrapping, or are you bringing partners in for this massive investment? Or no?
Yeah, so there's been a couple of times along the journey that it's been almost 14 years now. 2013 brought on our first partners, and they were great financially, brought in just some expertise, not in restaurant, grew to about 17 locations. I knew I needed restaurant experience at this point. Like it was like, okay, I had this great idea, and I didn't have the experience for it, but I was just like, hey, let's try this and let's do it. Started very bootstrapping at that point. But then got to a point where we're just rolling over like, okay, anything we make goes over into opening more locations. But I wasn't providing the support to the teams and the stores that I should be. Found an amazing partner in Andrew and Shauna Smith with 4 Foods Group, now Savory Fund. And they had grown Meters, they own Little Caesars. They know how to scale restaurant brands. And so I partnered with them. They bought out our existing partners, and they became majority at that point in 2017. We scaled from 17 locations to 45 locations by the end of 2022. And that's where the Larry H. Miller Group came on. They're a Utah company. They know the brand, they see the vision, they see where it's going. Realize we hadn't even turned on franchising at this point. We have 45 locations. And there's this big buzz all over TikTok about Swig and dirty soda, and everybody wants a Swig all over the world. So Larry H. Miller Group, they saw that and they valued us for that, of what they could see coming in the future. And they bought large majority at that point. That was the end of 2022. So that's how I've been able to hit the gas to go, okay, now let's go into the franchising world, which can be a scary world, like an amazing world, because you can spread that Swig love, a lot quicker. But you can also partner with some franchisees that maybe aren't quite bought into that. And that's what keeps me right. Swig is like my 6th baby. And so I want to protect it. And franchising, you have to be a little bit careful. So, but in the 5 years we're with 4 Foods Group, and we still are, we developed a lot of systems and training.
What's the name of the group they're with now?
It's now called Savory Group, but it was 4 Foods Group, but Savory Fund, Restaurant Fund.
Okay, you got to listen. You got to listen more to my podcast. I have some people that you'd love to listen to. There's a bunch of franchisors on my podcast. Actually, next week, Chris and I are going to be with Tom Monahan, the founder of Domino's Pizza, and so he's doing this. I've known him for about probably 12 years now. Amazing guy, amazing story, just an amazing giver, right? Just like I said, his story is incredible. And so, like I said, for you, feed off of these stories, because there's many. Of our 95, Nicole, probably, Chris would know more, but maybe it's a dozen or so are franchisors like you, right? From really big ones and to budding ones that are maybe a little smaller than you or bigger than you or whatever. But either way, it's really fun to listen to, your passion and this idea that I'm a pretty aggressive guy as an entrepreneur. I started about 36 companies now in the last 40 years. And I would have looked at your idea and said, I don't know. I don't think people are going to just go buy pop. And I don't see this as a viable deal, right? So good. I laugh because I was laughed at a lot when I said I'm going to build a paving company that's going to pave parking lots everywhere in the country, right? And now not only do we pave parking lots everywhere in America, but we also our technology company works everywhere in the world, right? And so it's kind of fun, because I remember all those people that looked at me like I would look at you, and because
I'm like, don't down it till you try it. Come on.
That's a chip on your shoulder that you gotta keep there, right? As you continue.
I know, it keeps you strong. It keeps you powering through all of that. I'm going to tell you now, we turned on franchising in February. So I always knew it wasn't a matter of like, once we turn on franchising, will they come? Because I've been getting franchise requests for like 7-8 years, right? And I was like, you're not ready. I will not just hand out franchise locations because I'm greedy or I just am prideful or whatever. I wanted to make sure that we had everything dialed up, buttoned up, so that they could succeed. Because when they win, I win, and our customers and Swig wins. So we turned it on in February of last year, so not even quite a year. And we have signed 475 units already.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so and that'll be over how many years it's got to
So
be
we're
over.
over between 7 to 10 years, but we're doing large groups. So they have to buy 7 to 10 minimum because we want to provide amazing customer service to them, support, I should say, to them. Instead of 450 individual franchisee owners, we're going to make it so it's better service to them. We can help them easier, and they're probably a little more experienced and will land better for us. And that
Okay,
may
so
change, but
any in Florida yet?
oh yeah, we have 4 franchise groups going to Florida. Yeah, so Orlando, Jacksonville. Yeah, Florida's big.
Okay, do you have Naples covered yet in this Southwest Florida?
I'll have to ask my franchise director of franchise, but why, are you interested?
Yeah, I think it would be. I've got a son that's a really good guy, 23. He's the one that he's here with me now in Florida, but he lives in Illinois, but he loves Florida and wants to be here eventually. And anyway, I have my oldest 3 kids are all entrepreneurs. I have 4 kids, and I'm beating you on the grandkids. I've got 5 grandkids. So there. But anyway, as far as my kids, my son is our CEO of all of our companies, my oldest son, and he oversees a few $100 million of revenues and a bunch of our little businesses. My daughter, who's 34, oversees our biggest company, our national paving company, and she's starting a new company as we speak. And then my next daughter, her husband have 2 companies of their own, and they're the most productive of the family because they have 4 of my 5 grandkids. So
yes, they are.
So either way, I'm blessed. But my son Nick, we've been talking for the last. He's been down there for a week with me, and we're talking about what he wants to do next. And he's a young guy, but what he wants to do in his life. He goes, I don't know, Dad. I'm not sure that the paving business is what I want. And so we're going back and forth on a lot of stuff. So really neat guy. And I would definitely want look at this for sure if Southwest Florida is not taken up right now. So
yeah, listen, it is such a special brand. I do think that people across the nation need and want a Swig. They deserve it. It's more about how you feel when you come through that line. And it's not just soda. We have the revivers. We have sparkling waters. They're called refreshers. We just did our free refresher day for the year. We do it once a year. And it's just so that our customers and people can know that we don't just sell soda. We have healthy options for you. So it's anything sparkling or just flat water based. We served 75,000 refreshers on Thursday of last week to our stores.
Wow.
People wait lines for like 30 minutes just to get a free refresher.
I think the most fun is anybody can partner with you and your energy. That energy is going to light up any room you're in, and I believe it's going to energize anybody that has your brand because you're at the top of the brand. I mean, Jimmy John is the same way. If you listen to Jimmy John, he's got amazing energy that just motivates anybody that's around him or you. I mean, I think that's so important. You can't do this with a person without energy can't do what you did. A person without a vision, right, and the willingness and the passion to serve other people, okay, doesn't work without that. So again, the key for the future is going to be you or the next person that you guys choose to take your spot has to have that energy that you have, because in my opinion, it can work, but it can't work as well if you don't have somebody at the top that people are inspired by. So you're going to inspire everybody that invests in your brand is going to be inspired by you. And so you're a young girl for a grandmother. And
that's right. I am a young girl.
You're a grandmother. So you got a lot of road ahead to be that person that's that brand at the top.
As you know, you only do it with your team. I can't do it by myself. There's no way I could have built this without my team. And so I have such an amazing team. We all go to the finish line together. I'm going to be in there washing dishes, making drinks, serving drinks, taking orders, but so will my CEO, my COO, my CMO. They are all hands-on. And anybody that we bring into our organization, to our brand, our company, it is a very thorough vetting process of like, who are you? What are your values? And then are you a hard worker? Do you work well with others? Are you not afraid to get dirty? Do you like to talk to people? It really is like we want them bought in before we sign them up to day one. Let's get going.
Okay, so when you think about this, Nicole, I mean, you've got this brand, that's amazing brand, and you've been attached to it like directly in most of these units, right? So now, what are the values? What are the core values that are Swig that you know that if you know, and not to say the core values can't change over time, because I think we all kind of modify them as we go and stuff. But what are core values that you believe in, that you inspire your team to live by?
Yeah, totally. So it is integrity, meaning that what are you doing when other people aren't looking? So are you going to be doing the job no matter what? So integrity. It is team. We're a team. Like I just said, the upper management, in fact, I don't even like to call us upper management, just the management. We are going to be doing everything that you're doing. We're not going to ask you to do anything that we wouldn't do. So you have to be a team player. So integrity, team player, and then it is communication. We need to communicate. The hardest part about any organization, company is the leadership. It is leading your team. And we have team members. Most of our managers in our locations are between the ages of 18 and 23 years old. So it is a young management team, because again, it's not crazy experience that you need. So they start out as a first job, 16-year-old first job. They work their way up to be a shift lead. Then they become an assistant manager, and then they're a manager. And then they rocket at that store and we're like, hey, do you want to go open a store over here? That gives them more experience of opening a new store. And then they become a regional manager, and then on up. So we have a program called our Leadership and Training Program. And we put whoever wants to be in it, jump in it. And then we always have leaders. We don't call them managers yet, because we want to make sure it's a good fit for them to go be a manager. The last thing I want to do is put them in a store thinking, yeah, you've got it, and it wasn't a good fit, and now they're no longer a Swig. So it's a leadership and training, and it's we're very proud of. We built it over the last 2 to 3 years, and it's how we now have a bench to open locations. You have to have the people to open locations. It's all about the people. So
Absolutely. It's all about people. I mean, relationships, it's, without great relationships of trust across the board, it doesn't happen. And you're going to always build that, because you exude you exude high quality, integrity, all the things you talk about, you exude them. So it's easy for you, right? And now it's a matter of finding those people like you that love serving others, right? To continue to grow your brand. And you could, I think about, all the times that people drive to Starbucks just because they need something to drink, and it's not always the Starbucks drink. It's the other things they get when they drive through. But I don't think that they do the best job, in my opinion, when it comes to customer service and getting people that really buy into a brand that delivers great customer service every time. But I think they're resting on their laurels. So this is another option for that.
I agree, and that's what we want to be. We definitely want to be a good option to get your drink fixed. We will always take your order face to face. We're like Chick-fil-A. We're out in the snow. We're out in the rain. We're out in the heat. We'll never take order on a squawk box. It is always person to person with an iPad, and that's been since day one.
Wow. Okay. All right. So there's another franchisor that is a good friend of mine. I live in Naples, Florida for 7 months. And then in Illinois, there's Portillo's restaurants. Have you ever heard of those? Portillo's? Okay. So Dick Portillo is my neighbor here. And Dick Portillo sold that organization for over $1 billion. And but he does exactly what you said. I often wonder why, but Portillo's has an amazing drive-through business for their hot dog stands. But they always have somebody on an iPad, like out there in any weather, getting the order, receiving the order. I'm like, why is that necessary, right? But it does give you a certain amount of customer service that you definitely don't get through that box, right?
No, it is that person-to-person contact. I see you. I know you. I love you. Thanks for choosing us. And if you see a long line of cars, but you see someone out there taking the orders and they're moving the cars forward, you're more likely to get in that line. If it's about 10 cars deep and it's just a squawk box with no person, I'm not getting in that line.
You're exactly right. And Portillo's, that you can get through fast, because they're always going to have as many people as it takes out there walking on that with those iPads getting you through. Well,
yep.
That's really amazing. And look at that model too. But Portillo's, they're huge stores, right? They're like, 15, 20,000 square feet, and they do all kinds of stuff, right? A lot of different things. So, similar, but very different, but similar in how they
Right.
serve it.
Yes.
Okay. So, Chris, I want Chris to throw some questions at you. And then also, I've got some nuggets here that I think that create your amazing success, but I want Chris to kind of throw those at our audience too. So Chris, you ready, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. Nicole, your story
Chris,
is
amazing. Did I call this or what? I tell you, she's one of the best ever.
Oh man, I think you undersold it.
Yeah. He just hasn't got a swig yet. Once he has a swig, then he'll be like, sold, 100% sold.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Nicole, your story is so just delightful and charming. I don't know this directly, but I would think a lot of your success is just people like you. Like you're such a, likable kind of, mom, and you're easy to get along with. You're like, I really like soda, and I think it'll take off. And people are like, that's not gonna work. And you saw it and used your charisma and your passion to make it happen. So that's always really amazing and inspiring to see.
It takes work to build that. I was in it day in, day out for 3 years protecting it. And
Mhm.
I was the manager. I was the, ordered all the things, but I protected it. And they saw me. All the customers saw me
Yeah.
for
Yeah. They're like, I like her. And I love getting my soda with the pebble ice. She gets me.
yeah, I know her name. I know their names. I know their drink. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I was curious, you mentioned that you're only selling to 7 to 10 franchises at a time per franchise buyer. Can you talk about that to our audience who may be considering franchising, and why that was the right move for you guys?
Yeah, it just helps us to, again, for us, we're big on communication and support. And we just knew that if we spread ourselves too thin to 400 to 500 individual franchisees, I would love to sell as many as I can and to help people have their dreams come true and own their own swig. That would be amazing. But we're not ready for that right now. We want to make sure that as we just are starting down the franchise path, that we're going to learn as we do it. And the best way to learn is to have it be a smaller group, more of a controlled environment, and so that we can learn as we go and give them the support that they need. And then maybe eventually it'll be onesie, twosies. But for now, as we start, it's like we just started. We have 2 that are open. That's it. But we sold 450. So
It's amazing.
again, it wasn't a matter of like, will they come? Because they've been wanting it for years. So we did it very strategically of like, I know you all want it, but we have to do it in a controlled environment where we can give you the best, service we can and support.
hmm
So that they'll win. I want them all to win. I want them
Yeah.
all to do.
Absolutely. And then, instead of talking to 450 different folks, you're only talking to, 40 to 50, right? Like it
Exactly.
cuts down.
Yes.
kind
Cuts
of
down.
the-
And hopefully when you get to that level, you have some that have some experience in franchising that can help us learn. I mean, we don't know everything. I am hopefully a humble person that's just like, I'm going to learn along with you. You know, franchising maybe better than I do, but we're going to work on this together. So we are pretty selective of who we even pick for that small group, because again, we want to have those values. And so, yeah, that's why we scaled it down.
Yeah. Can you talk about the franchisee selection process, and are there any specific, measurables that they have to have before you'll consider them?
Yeah. So obviously, they need to have some wealth so that they can be able to afford it. And it's not crazy expensive, a franchise fee and the other things that go with it. We've got some great AUVs. And so that obviously is part of it. And we want to know, can they afford to open 7 to 10? But most of them are taking 10, 15, 20, 40. So they're taking big chunks.
Yeah.
Nicole, can you talk about how much for 7 to 10 or like per unit or whatever? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, you bet. Per unit, it's $35,000 per unit franchise fee. And then it is 6 to 7% royalty. And then there's like, marketing fees and development fees that we can help with, but we're there along the journey to help you wherever you need it. We do check all the sites though, site selection. We make sure that they are good sites for you.
And when you look at that, Nicole, when you look at the 6 to 7% royalty on top is what it costs to run, to do all the work you do. What is the projected? I mean, is there a percentage of profit projected of revenues, or is there anything you can say is about which you can expect?
Yeah. So our average AUV is around between 850,000 to 1.1 million per location. And then we are at about 25% EBITDA. So pretty good margins.
25% EBITDA after paying your 6 to 7% and all your marketing and all that?
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Actually, sorry, that's before. So that would be a little bit less than that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's the EBITDA. The EBITDA has your 6 to 7% included.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about this, Chris, I mean, if you think about this, but I've got my business. I'm blessed that I don't have to have people that are doing the work for us. I don't have to have highly educated people. I need people that are passionate, people that are have common sense, right? But I don't have to have engineers and accountants do most of the work that we do. So it's kind of fun. We have people that are like me, basically uneducated, right? That become very successful and very wealthy in our business as they take on leadership in our business and actually ownership, right? And so it's a lot of fun. And this is kind of the same thing. I mean, common sense. You have common sense, work ethic. You understand accounting, or you understand math, right? A person could be very successful, in my opinion, in your business, because it's not like you have to be an engineer, accountant, a lawyer, or whatever. You need to have people around you that have those skills, right? But I think this is a cool business for somebody like my son, actually, who like me, didn't go to college, just is common sense, smart guy, hardworking guy, and very loving and very very caring and loving. So
he's your operator to get you started. We want our franchisees to be, if we can, the operators to get it starting. Like, we want them in the stores, because again, that's where I was. That's where you'll succeed. In the stores, open it up, making drinks, mopping the floors, whatever you got to do to get that first store open. And that's what we've seen. I mean, we opened one in Bentonville, Arkansas, back in November 1st. They were the top sales for like over 2 weeks, just the top of the pack. They were store number 59. So Bentonville, Arkansas. So it is a 61-year-old husband wife team. They brought in their kids, and they were in there making drinks all day long. So
I know Bentonville. Yes. I know Bentonville very well, because I knocked on Walmart's door for a long time before they actually considered me to pay.
I think everybody's like Walmart, Bentonville.
Yeah. Bentonville's a great market.
It's great.
So anyway, I think you need common sense to run a business like this. You need customer service. You need to care a lot, right? And then you need a system that basically does your system to do a lot of the back office, all that. And then just as you get to 20, 30 stores, I'm sure if somebody gets to 20, 30, 40 stores, they need to look out of their own back office, their own accounting, their own legal and all that stuff, right? But what a cool business
for you. You come out to stay in Utah for 2 weeks, and you start as a team member. You work and we do all the training right there with you for 2 weeks straight to make sure that you've got that culture built in.
I love it. All right. I cut my buddy Chris off. Chris, well, you had a lot more questions. I'm sure. Oh, wait, one more question I got, Chris, because you might not answer this. Ask this one. Demographics. Let's say you got a town of 100,000 people in it. Okay. How many stores can you do in that town? I know Starbucks, you can do, a few stores in a 10,000 person town or 20,000 person town. What does it look like for
example, Jacksonville? What's the population of Jacksonville like? Jacksonville's slated for 24 spots, if that gives you any idea. Nashville is slated for 24 locations, and they're like right at 1 million, right? So 100,000, you could definitely fit, 4 to 5, 6, 7, just depending. Here in St. George, where it all started, we're just a little over 100,000. I think we're like 120. We have 6 locations with 2 more coming. So you can fit, depending on, start kind of slow and then ramp up, but 100,000 can fit 7 to 10.
7 to 10 per 100,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. It's funny, God works in mysterious ways, right? But it's funny because I've been having this conversation with my son, and we have 14 businesses, and he's just not that passionate about concrete and asphalt and things. But he's worked in all of our businesses, and he's a hardworking guy. He's like, Dad, I just don't know if it's for me,
Yeah.
And so anyway, it'd be funny if this is something he is interested in, because it's in my opinion, it's a great value, and it's at $35,000 a unit. It seems like a really, really good deal. Doesn't sound like it'd be that price for long, in my opinion.
No, they're going to do well. We built it so that it wasn't too hard to reach and that they'll do well. I just want to spread Swig across to the world. Honestly, we have international companies interested. Like Canada is probably going to get some Swigs, just FYI.
Cool. Chris, sorry about that. What else you got, buddy?
Yeah. Gary, it's funny you mentioned that, because one of our other clients is franchising, and apparently the biggest buyer of franchises right now is Gen Z. They're opting out of going to school because they're like, I don't know if I want to spend $250,000 for an undergraduate degree from a state school. Maybe I'll just spend one tenth of that on buying a franchise. Nicole, have you noticed that? Like, are you getting a lot of interest from that younger demographic?
Yeah, well, I think because we did start with larger pockets, that I think it's people, like Gary, that have that pocket of money that they want to invest and have a son that could go be that person in the stores. So we've had a lot of families that are coming in and doing that and having their kids be the operators. I'm going to tell you guys, not a lot of people know that, but my nephews came to me when they found that we were franchising and said, Nicole, we want a franchise and we want you to partner with us. So we're actually probably going to do Jacksonville, by the way, Gary. That's why I'm saying I know some of the stats. I think of that.
To the Jacksonville people too. I've got some good friends there that are actually on radio stations there and do a lot of things there. So if you ever, like I said, when you're thinking anything, if you call me on anything when it comes to network, I've got a network of friends across the country.
Awesome. So, but really the people managing our stores currently, our corporate locations, are the Gen Z. Like they are the younger crowd. They're choosing to, and I always say, go to school. I always be like, take your credits. They can take credits and manage. It works. They can go to school and manage. But that's who's running our corporation right now. That they're the ones in the front lines, boots on the ground in the stores. They are running $1 million locations. And we are teaching them that they have amazing leadership and they can do anything that they want to do. We set this super large sales goal for 2023, thinking there's no way they're going to hit it. We bribed them with a Disneyland trip. Guess what they did? They hit it. So next week, we are taking all 60 of our managers and some LITs and some of our office staff. 90 of us are going to Disneyland next Tuesday.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Nicole, that's so important, Nicole. We've done this all along for the last like 20 of my 42 years, where we, probably longer than that. I guess we've taken them to conventions, our leaders, to inspire them to, look at what's new and innovation and all that, and then wine and dine them a little bit. But recently we've been doing these leadership retreats, and it's so worth it. I mean, we're last about 8 months ago, we did it in Nashville with 60 of our teammates. And I'll tell you what, it was so worth it. I mean, they not only did they get to know each other better, they can call on each other for questions and challenges they might have as they lead their own units, right? But then also, they realized my vision, my son's vision, and all the other leaders' visions, and they're all aligned way better after that leadership retreat, right? So when you can do that, that's really cool. And then have a goal, like you said, hit it on the park, and here's what we're doing, right? If you don't hit it on the park, we're still going to have a retreat, but it might be at home. It might be here in someone's city.
But we're finding it from Dallas. I mean, we're bringing them all. They're all coming. So it'll be fun.
And that's your challenge for the future, right, Nicole? As you grow to, hundreds and thousands of units you'll have in the next 10 years, probably, you in front of them and your leaders in front of them, inspiring them and making sure that they understand how important your brand is. And then where's the vision next, right? You and your leaders really laying out that vision for the future so that, the thousands of leaders buy into it as well as the 60 that do now, right? So
Totally. Yeah.
really cool.
Thinking what's changed and where it's going, right? It's pretty incredible.
Yep. Chris, what else do you got? We can talk to this girl all day long here. We don't want to spend her whole day, and let's finish with some good stuff here.
Yeah. I just had one final question. Our research came up with Swig's annual Save the Cups campaign. Can you talk about how that came into existence?
Now you're going to get me to cry is what you're going to do, Chris. So I am a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 37, a year before I started Swig. I think it gave me renewed life, honestly, of like life can be short. So go out and live your dreams. In fact, that's like my motto is life is short. So go out and make it a good one and dream and do all the things do all the things you've ever dreamed of. So I had a very rare aggressive form of breast cancer. Caught it because a friend prompted me to get a mammogram. I had no signs, no symptoms, no history, no insurance. Found it, caught it early, was able to just cut it out. If I wouldn't have caught it though, my cancer doesn't respond to chemotherapy and radiation, so I wouldn't have been able to treat it. It would have spread before I would have had my first mammogram at 40 and I wouldn't be here. My doctor's like, you're feeling sick. Very rare cancer, we caught it. So my life was spared, I had renewed life, but I had over $12,000 of medical debt. And so I applied, I had 5 kids, like I said, no insurance. And I applied to some financial assistance through the hospital here. And I still remember to this day sitting in the hospital administration room and she looks up from her paperwork and she's like, Nicole, can you pay $100? So with tears streaming down my face, I wrote a check right there for $100 and I was debt free with my medical bills. So started Swig. Yeah, I'm very blessed. So started Swig a year later, just then boots on the ground, just kind of almost forgetting about the cancer journey, still getting my mammograms, but just focused on building this crazy business, And 10 years later, COVID hit. Who would have thought COVID would rock our world like it did? But we were a drive-through, so we didn't just we thrived. We were able to do really well because we were essential and we were in a drive-through. So we wanted to give back at the end of 2020. And one of my business partners came to me and said, Nicole, didn't you have breast cancer and weren't your bills paid for? And I said, yeah, it was. I hadn't talked about it a whole lot since then. He's like, that's what we're going to do. We are going to find women fighting for their lives and they are drowning in debt. And we are going to, with breast cancer, and we are going to pay for their medical bills. So that's what we do. In fact, last night for 6 hours, I'm going through this long list. I'm the one that goes through all of them. We had 250 applications this year. We raised $300,000 in the month of October. And to date, we've raised almost $1 million in just 4 months' time. 4 years, but it's just in October is when we focus on it. And we raise the money, but it's all of our customers. It's our team. We have tumblers, we have drinks, we have stickers. We make it super fun. And we have helped over 25 women, but I literally tears streaming down my face as I'm reading their stories. Some of them are terminal, some of them are majorly in debt. And I have a business that can give back like that and lift a load. And I'm telling you, it is full circle. And sometimes I go, was Swig made for Save the Cups? Like, why did Swig do what it did? I mean, it was such a crazy long shot. But I can help women do this and help lift their load. And that's incredible.
God picks amazing people like you, Nicole. And, I don't know if you know, my wife passed away of brain cancer 3 years and a few months ago. And she was amazing. We started a foundation and I like to talk about this more. I probably don't talk about it on every podcast, but one of our successes is my wife was a huge giver. And when our business was very small, she would want to give away as much as she could of whatever we were making. And I was always like, hi, it's your money too. Do what you want, right? And 1 year, probably 15 years in, she gave away, we came from the accountant and realizing we lost money that year. then realized also that she gave away a lot of money back then. It was like $80,000 or $100,000 that she gave to causes she believed in. And so we're going back. So we got to figure something else out, honey, because I love giving and I want you to continue to give, but we got to make sure that we have money to give and we make money before we give. And so anyway, we started the Rabine Group Foundation back then, and now our percentage of our profits go to our foundation, and the foundation has 3 causes that we really fight for. And cancer is part of it. It was part of it. It's more of it now because my wife's battle. But either way, it's children, it's elderly, it's vets, and it's any disadvantaged causes that we believe in. And so either way, my daughter runs the foundation nowadays, but I sincerely believe, and I've been told this many times, people in our business, our leadership, and people at all levels stay in our business often because they believe, and they're accurate when they say this. We do, and we have high quality people that love giving that are part of our business. And just like you, Nicole, when people see your giving heart, they want to work in your organization. And those people are the best people we can have to serve our customers and each other, right? So I always say, if I don't care how big your business is, I wish I would have done it when my business was a $500,000 business, right? Started a foundation because it would have been way more organized. I think I would have had better quality teammates all along. But nowadays, we've got amazing teammates, and so many of them love the giving side of it. They get engaged in our giving and are part of the giving. So we today are doing amazing things also with our foundation. My daughter is the one that's running it today, and then we have leaders all across our companies and their spouses that are part of it. But again, what you do, when you do what you do, using your experience and understanding what it's like to be on the receiving end of something like that. And your story, you tell that story, oh my gosh, you're going to have so many people that if they're weighing where they want to go to work, and they're going to say, okay, do I want to go to work at Starbucks, or do I want to go for Nicole's great organization? I think it's going to be Swig. It's not going to be Starbucks for sure. So again, we
kind.
You look, but we look at giving it as and it's really. I believe that we get so much more out of life when you give, and we know that, right? I mean, you feel way better when you're part of the giving side of things than the receiving side. As good as you felt that day, right? You don't feel that good knowing that you couldn't afford to do that. I mean, but knowing that you were able to help people now, like you were then, that's amazing. That's amazing.
No, it literally is the most surreal. I don't know how I'm so blessed and so lucky to be in this position, but God does. And so I will do whatever he asks of me. And this business is blessed because of him and now Save the Cup. So I'm an amazing blessed lady. Just serving drinks one drink at a time, one swig at a time. Happiness in the cup is what we like to say.
One swig at a time. God is great. God is great. One swig at a time.
Yeah.
Well, it was such a joy having you on today, and your story is incredible. And I'd like to, get your number after this, and I want to sincerely dig into your opportunity. If there's opportunity in Southwest Florida, we can definitely afford to do whatever to be part of it. I just have to make sure that we're the right fit, and
right.
You'd have to make sure we're the right fit.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a blast, and
you would be. Yes.
To be part of your organization, because of you, to be part of your organization would be incredible. So,
thank you. Well, we would love to.
I also want to, if you're okay with it, I'll connect you with Shelly's son, who is, again, dear, like my little sister, dear friend of mine, uber successful, but an amazing human being that just continues to just grow. Bright Star, her company, that's incredible. So, all right.
And Jimmy John's, I'm going to listen to his story. I'm diving into the ditch, and I'm going to go listen to all the stories.
Listen to Jimmy John's, listen to Shelly's son. I think she's in her first 20 shows as well. You're awesome, girl.
Thanks. And sorry about your wife, but you're a strong and amazing woman.
My wife was a blessing to thousands of people because she was such a giver, and everybody knew her as a person that didn't care about herself as much as everybody else. And so she believed that her fight was over 4 years, and brain cancer, that's a long time. And she sincerely believed, as soon as she understood it was terminal, that she said, if God lets me live a 6 months or a year, like they say, or 4 or 5 years, in the time he gives me, people are going to pray for me and they're going to get closer to God. And she saw on Carrying Bridge and on everything that she read, many people praying for her on a consistent basis. And she said, many of these people, like some we know are as family and friends, aren't close to God, and they're going to get closer to their faith and their God. And this is why I got it,
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
think that, I thought was kind of crazy at first, but as I saw the difference she made in the lives of so many, I understood it. And so, life is a blessing. Life is short, as you and I both know, and you're making it a great one, because God wants you to, and you're doing all the things that you aspire to do, and you're inspiring so many people to do what you do. So, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It's so fun to talk with both of you.
Okay,
So
so I'm gonna connect with you, and we're gonna be friends for life. And
Yep.
your story is gonna inspire so many people. So thanks so much for being on today. Really enjoyed it. Ditch Digger CEO audience is gonna love Nicole. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. It's been fun.
God bless you.
Thanks. See you later.